Hello. So today we're going to talk about angles and sides and how they're related. And on this first side, there's really nothing to write down except for these boxes down here and these little fill in the blanks down here. I just want you to see, okay, the smallest angle in this picture is 30. The smallest side is 2. The biggest angle in this picture is 104. The biggest side is 4. Pardon the bell. And the one in the middle is the one in the middle. Okay, so one in the middle is 46, and one the side in the middle is 3. Over here, the smallest angle is 30, and the smallest side is 3. By the way, I actually drew these out. These are the measurements and actually how long these sides are and things like that. I did units because sometimes I measured them and it's a long story. Anyways, just these are actually the right numbers. This is 30 and that's 3. The biggest, this is 90 and that's 6. And this is the one in the middle and that's the side in the middle. And basically what I want you to see is that the largest side is always directly across from the largest angle. And the smallest side is always directly across from the smallest angle. Or if you prefer a different analogy, the smallest angle, which in this picture here would be 55, it creates the smallest side, which is 3 units. And the largest angle, which in this case would be 65, it creates the largest side, which in this case would be 34. If this angle was bigger, well then that side would be bigger. If this angle was smaller, then the side would be smaller. Okay, so that's how this works. And on ones like these, this is an isosceles triangle. These two angles are the same, so these two sides are the same. See, this angle creates this side, and this angle creates this side. These two sides are the same, these two angles are the same. And then here's an equilateral. This is 60, that's 4. This is 60, that's 4. This is 60, that's 4. Okay, so the largest side is across from the largest angle. The smallest side is across from the smallest side, angle. Excuse me. The largest angle creates the largest side, and the smallest angle creates the smallest side. All right. If we turn this over, take a look at the back. All right, we're supposed to list the angles in order from least to greatest. Well, I need the smallest angle. Well, the smallest angle is going to be across from the smallest side. Here's the smallest side. The smallest angle would be B. The next smallest would be the 6, so the next smallest angle would be A.
Good morning and happy.
All right, and then the largest side would be 7, and so the largest angle would be across from that. That'd be C. Okay, over here on this one. All right, the smallest angle would be across from the smallest side. But I don't know how big any of these sides are, do I? Well, the thing is, we do know, if you think about it, you know which one of these sides has to be the smallest. I mean, the only one of these that could be smallest, I mean, if you pick any number for x to be, okay, any number that could be, okay, now x cannot be 0 or anything less than 0, because this side, I see it. So it's there, it exists, okay, it's not imaginary. So this has to be there. This has to at least be 0.0001. Has to be. Okay, so let's say this was 10. Well, that's 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. And 10 plus 2 is 12. So this is 10, that's 11, that's 12. Let's say this was 5, and that's 5, that's 6, that's 7. This is 100, that's 101, that's 102. Okay, so no matter what, this is going to be my smallest side, this is going to be my next smallest side, and this is going to be my next smallest side, or the largest side. So my smallest angle is going to be across from my smallest side, so that would be T. My next smallest side is this one, so it would be across from R. And my biggest angle would be across from the biggest side, so that would be S. All right, now about sides. Here's the thing about naming sides that a lot of people don't, or a lot of people forget. I won't say they mess up on it, but they forget. Sides involve 2 letters. Okay, this is side DE. This is side EF, and this is side DF. Now you could say ED and FE and FD. Okay, but it involves 2 letters. Each one does. So for each one of these answers, we're going to list 6 letters total. So for this one, we have to figure out what this third angle is, so that we know which one's the smallest, which one's the biggest, and which one's in the middle. So if we take these, we remember that all 3 angles add up to be 180. If we make this x, let's say, then we have 60 plus 50 plus x equals 180. So that would be 110 plus x equals 180, which means that x would be 70. Now I can list these from shortest to longest. The shortest side would be created from the shortest or the smallest angle. So this is the smallest angle, the smallest side would be EF. I'm going to show you another trick real quick when it comes to angles. When you're doing this, when you find the smallest angle, cover it up. Whatever left is your answer. EF is what's left. The next smallest is 60. So it creates DF. Or if you do what I just said, cover up 60. Whatever's left is your answer. DF. And then F is the biggest. I'm going to cover it up. DE is my answer. So EF, DF, DE. Okay? On this next one, I wish that I could look at this and say, oh, well, 61 has to be the biggest, and that has to be next. There's 2 X's there, and that has to be next. But I really don't know that for sure. I can't really tell. It's not like this one up here, where I could say, okay, well, that's got to be this. That's, these add up to be 180. I don't really know which one's the next biggest, so I've got to do the math and find out. I've got to say, okay, 2x plus 61 plus x plus 29 equals 180. And I got to go through and do the math here. And let's see, 2 and 1 more x would be 3x. 61 and 29, that would be, what is that, 80, 90? Is it 90? Yeah, 90. And that's going to be 180. I would subtract 90 on both sides, so 3x would be 90. And then divide both sides by 3, so x is 30. So this one would be 2 times 30, or 60. And this would be 30 plus 29, which would be 59. So, oh man, these are just one off, each one. So again, my smallest angle is J. It creates my smallest side, which would be, if I cover it up, GH. I just lost my pen. So, change pens here. GH. You see that? Not very well. Just a second, sorry guys. GH. There we go. My next smallest side would be 60, and so my next smallest angle is 60. Excuse me. My next smallest side would be HJ, and then my largest angle is 61, so my largest side is GJ. All right. Next. All right. So on this next one. Putting these in order from least to greatest again, I don't really know I mean, I look at this and I'm saying, I bet that's the smallest one because it's just x plus 20. And that's 5x and that's 6x. So that's got to be the smallest, I would think. But what about these two? I mean, this is 5x and this is 6x. So you think that's smaller and that's the next smallest. But this is 6x minus 10. And this is 5x plus 2. So, I mean, if x was only like 8, then this would actually be smaller than that. Let's see. Yeah, this would be 38, and that would be 42. All right, folks. Sorry about that. So I'm still going to have to make these equal to 180. It's going to be kind of a long equation. It's going to be each one of these. X plus 20 plus 5x plus 2 plus 6x minus 10 equals 180. Combining like terms, I get 12x. All right, so 12x, and then 20 plus 2 minus 10, be plus 12 equals 180. Is that going to be a decimal? I hope not. Let's see. So we're going to subtract 12 on both sides. So 12x will equal 168. And 168 divided by 12. Oh no, that is 14. Okay. So if x equals 14, when I plug it in here, 14 plus 20 is 34. When I plug it in here, 5 times 14 is 70, plus 2 is 72. And then when I plug it in here, 6 times 14 is 84, minus 10 is 74. So man, by 2, this one is still bigger. Okay. So from shortest length to longest length, if this is the smallest angle, I cover that up, this is the smallest side, NP. If this is the next shortest angle, 72, when I cover it up, that's my next shortest side, OP. And then this is the largest angle, so that's the largest side. When I cover this up, that's NO, or ON, however you wanted to put it on there. All right, then we come over here to this one. And this one we can actually, we don't have to do the math on if you just think about it. Now you can do the math if you want to. You can do x plus 16 plus x plus 29 equals 180. You can subtract 16 and 29 from 180 and then divide by 3. You can do all that. But if you just look at it, no matter what number you pick, x has to exist. It has to be at least 1. It could be 1, it could be 10, it could be 50, 60, 70, I don't know. Whatever number you plug in, this one's going to be bigger and this one's going to be the biggest. Because this you add 16 and this one you add 29. We don't have to do the math. This is the smallest angle. So the smallest side, when I cover that up, is QZ. Because the smallest angle creates the smallest side. The largest angle has got to be this one. So the largest side is going to be QW. And the one that's in the middle would be this one, so that would be this one. The side that's in the middle would be WZ. Okay, so there those are. Then you have this one. All right, so what we know about this, we know that these two sides are the same, so that means that these two angles have to be the same. Remember, this angle creates this side. Well, this angle creates this side. And so if that's 80, so is this. And if that's 80 and that's 80, that is, 80 plus x, if you make that x right there, equals 180. That's 160 plus x equals 180. And then I subtract 160 on both sides, and x is going to be 20. So this is 20. So from smallest to longest, this is going to be 20. This is my smallest angle, so my smallest side is KM. And my longest side is going to be the other two. It doesn't matter which order I put them in. So KL and ML. All right, so that is the notes on angle side relations and how the longest side is created from the longest, biggest angle, and the shortest side is created from the smallest angle. And the converse of that is also true. All right, I hope that helps, and good luck on your work today.